Eagles Entertainment.
Welcome, Eagles everywhere, to the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Let me begin by saying happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's enjoy this holiday season. Eagles getting ready for Monday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks, a 7-3 team. We know all about the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, and his many skills at the quarterback position. The Eagles defense will give chase once again at number 3, who's 5-1 against the Eagles. 8 touchdown passes, 1 interception in his career against Philadelphia. And DK Metcalf, sensational second-year wide receiver, a good complement of players around Wilson, and a defense that attacks. Seattle defeating Arizona last Thursday. They're rested, they're healthy, and they come into Lincoln Financial Field for Monday Night Football as the first-place team in the NFC West. So again, as the Eagles go through this very tough stretch of the regular season schedule, need to find a way to raise their level of play. Now, normally on this Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group, we would have our first look at the Seahawks. We're going to push that back a couple of days, though, to our tailgate edition of the podcast as we just get closer to Monday night and can kind of focus. I think right now it just seems like everybody's still wallowing in the misery out there of the loss in Cleveland. Here at the NovaCare Complex, Eagles, of course, have turned the page. And Doug Pederson, who we'll hear from in just a moment, sticking with Carson Wentz, sticking with Jason Peters. We'll find out why in just a few moments. Alex Singleton, Eagles linebacker. Last time I spoke to him, it was after that big play in San Francisco, and he was looking for some respect in the locker room. Well, he's certainly gotten that. He's been in double digits the last 2 weeks in total tackles. He's been starting with Nathan Gary out. And look, I think Alex Singleton's one of the bright spots. You say this kid has taken advantage of his playing time. We'll get a sense of his mindset. He's a long shot, right? Been around the game of football for quite a number of years. Bounced around the NFL. Played in the Canadian League. And here he is with the Philadelphia Eagles, making plays on defense. Let's begin, though, with the head coach. Doug Pederson really facing it from the media. Eagles are 3-6-1. That's the job of the head coach, out there in front during the good times and during these times right now that are not so good. Our weekly one-on-one with head coach Doug Pederson. We welcome you to our weekly one-on-one with head coach Doug Pederson, presented by Wawa. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Coach, I know these are tough times. You come in on Monday after a loss on Sunday. What do you do during the course of the day? How do you kind of rinse through that loss and then move on to the next game?
Well, it takes you about half the day or so to kind of get through and kind of put the previous game, to bed, as we say. You come in and you watch the tape, you watch all 3 phases, you get a chance to talk to your coaches and get a sense of, how the 3 phases played. We watch it as an offensive staff and go through the game. And then, of course, I get to deal with the media and answer all the wonderful questions that, come out of the game. And look, it's all part of the process on a Monday, and then we spend the rest of the day working on our opponent.
And so the question is, how does this get back going in the direction that you want it to go in? I know there's no magical answer or one thing you can do. So what's the approach?
Well, the approach is just to get back on the practice field, put a great game plan together, and start working and executing again. And that's the only way you can get better, right? Is to get back out on the field and flush the previous game and focus on the next week's opponent and just take them one day at a time and continue to coach, continue to play, continue to motivate and rally and challenge the football team and. Do the best you can each week to prepare and go play.
Is the team, Doug, playing with the effort and the passion that you want to see?
That's something I'll never question with this team. For 2020, they give great effort. They give great effort in practice. They give great effort in the game. There's great intensity and enthusiasm during the week. Same thing on game day. Where our struggles have been are just the mental errors. It's been the penalties that have piled up on us. It's been the turnovers and lack of takeaways Just different things like that have just sort of compounded our issues a little bit and making some mental errors in the three phases of our game. And those are the things that have really kept us from winning some of these close ball games that we've been in. And if we take care of that, we could be sitting here a little bit different today.
Your offensive philosophy has obviously worked. Now you are not scoring the points you want. You're not moving the ball the way you want to do it. I mean, what has happened to the offense?
Well, the last couple of weeks, there have been turnovers in the red zone. There have been penalties that have kept us out of the red zone. We haven't had as many drives that have gotten us into the red zone. And the third downs, I think we're, 2 for 21 or so, I think, or 22 in the last two games. And if you're not staying on the field, you don't give yourself a chance. And then, of course, if you're turning the ball over, you don't give yourself a chance. So that's the two areas right there that have been addressed. They're going to continue to be addressed, and we got to fix them.
When you watch the film, Doug, are there plays that are there that just the execution just doesn't happen the way you want it to happen? That makes you say, hey, if we did this stuff right, there's big yards there.
Well, see, that's the thing we keep showing the players. Like, this is what we're capable of doing, right? These are the routes, these are the throws, these are the runs. Everything that we try to present the players is in a positive manner where we show them kind of the good, the bad, the ugly, and say, hey, this is how poorly we're playing. But if we just take care of these areas, this is how good we can play. And then we show them those positive plays that way, and make those corrections and try to minimize the amount of mistakes.
Doug, for somebody like Carson Wentz, who had so much success in college, comes in, has great success in the NFL, I mean, what is he going through right now? What do you see from Carson on and off the field?
It's the National Football League, and it just goes to show you that it's a tough business, and every year is different. Every team's different. You're going to be playing with different guys. And so, sometimes you go through these peaks and valleys, and right now we're in a valley, and but at the same time, we expect Carson to embrace where we're at as a team, where he's at right now, continue to work, continue to get better, and we climb out of that valley and sit atop of the peak one day.
You are obviously sticking with Carson. You've been asked that question a bunch of times. What do you think it means to him that you are staying with Carson?
Well, it shows the confidence that we have, that I have, in him. He's the leader of our team, and I think there's stability there, right? And he knows he needs to play better, and the team around him needs to play better. We all need to elevate our game just a little bit, and that's the other thing that's kind of kept us back, is we haven't had quite the consistency there that I would like, or any of us would like, but yet that shows the confidence that we have still in Carson that we can get it done.
Doug, I know you talked about Travis Fulgham to the media earlier in the week. Last couple games not productive. We all thought that this is a kid who's on the rise. Our defense is playing him differently. Is he just not getting opportunities? I mean, how do you get Travis back on track?
It's a little of both of that, Dave. It's teams are recognizing him and knowing, because we don't have Alshon really out there or Deshaun out there. So right now he's been our top receiver. So teams have taken their best corner and matched him up over there, or they've done some things differently with coverage, and so he has to understand that. And anytime that he gets challenged defensively that way, he should take it as respect and rise up to the occasion, and then we need to help him, or I need to help him maybe a little bit in play call, play design. To get him, in space and free some things up, but he's still a big part of what we do, and Carson still has a lot of faith in him and trust, and he'll continue to improve.
Doug, for years this offensive line has been among the best in the league. This emphasizes how important the offensive line is in the National Football League. Can you talk about that group and just what it means to have everybody kind of going in and out of the lineup the entire season?
Yeah, it's tough, when you don't have that consistency like we've had in the past, and when you've had JP, Isaac, Kelsey, Brandon Brooks, and Lane in there, and they're consistently in there week in and week out, you have stability, you have continuity. And now we've got so many moving pieces, right? We thought JP was going to be our starting right guard. Andre Dillard was going to be the left tackle and all that. And well, that didn't happen, right? And now we're JP's the left tackle and Matt Pryor's in at right guard. Well, Isaac's coming back, and we've played Opeta and Herbig. So there's so many, a young Jack Driscoll. It's just, where do you see the continuity? Where do you find the consistency there? When you're constantly rotating offensive linemen. But I will say this: those guys work extremely hard. Kelsey's kind of the glue of that group, and really keeps that group going. And they battle their tails off, and they play tough and physical each week. And we continue to work.
You said after the game on Sunday that you wanted to find out who was in and who was out. I've heard that before. I understand what it means, at least the way I've heard it before. What does it mean to you?
Well, just that. I want to see kind of who's with us. And by no means, do I expect anybody to kind of throw in the towel or kind of give up on the season, because we got everything right in front of us. And it's still anybody's ball game in the NFC East, obviously, and 6 games to go, none bigger than the one coming up against Seattle on Monday Night Football, and we're looking forward to that opportunity this week. Got to put a great week of practice and preparation together, but that'll really give us a really good indication of the all-in approach as we approach this last month and a half of the season.
Is it your plan, Doug, to shake things up in some way, or to stay the course here moving forward?
Stay the course. I think that's been it's been proven over time when you show consistency, and there might be minor tweaks here and there, but for the most part, man, you gotta stay the course and can't have any of those knee-jerk reactions. We're still right there with everything in front of us.
Zach Ertz, what kind of progress did he make last week coming back to practice? Do you expect him on Monday night?
Yeah, Zach did a nice job last week, kind of getting back out there and running around, and we'll see again this week where he's at, physically, and see if he, has the capability, or at least the physicality to go on that injury, and if so, then would expect him to play.
Last one, Doug. What is this like for you? I mean, you've had great success here. How do you deal with this moving forward? Like, I know it's stay the course, but inside, is there frustration?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's frustration because, I pride myself, right, on how the offense plays, how the defense, because I'm the head coach, right? So I have to take ownership in that, and I think back to 17, 18, some of the success we had back then, and see if that can sort of, translate into what we're doing right now. But this is such a long season, lot of game, month and a half of games left, 6 games. And like we just said, it's consistency. It's staying the course. It's being true to who you are, believing in in what got you here, so to speak. And we know we're not playing well as a football team, and we haven't put 4 quarters together. But we got to hold on to the faith and belief that can change, and we can get it fixed.
Our weekly one-on-one with head coach Doug Pederson, presented by Wawa. Doug, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Thank you, Dave. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too.
Thank you very much. And let's go out on Monday Night Football at Lincoln Financial Field and beat the Seattle Seahawks. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Dave.
Tired of searching for sports updates in different places? The Xfinity Sports Zone gives you the ultimate sports hub experience, where you can find games, news, and highlights all in one place right on your TV. Follow the teams you love across your favorite sports. You can even use the voice remote to access stats and scores. With the Xfinity Sports Zone, everybody wins. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store for details. Restrictions apply. Requires Xfinity TV service with X1.
I very much appreciate the honesty and the openness of Doug Pederson. He's available. He works well with everybody in the organization. But he's also 3-6-1, and he's got to find some answers before this season slips away. And as much as we all want to laugh about the NFC East, at the moment, Eagles still in first place. But all of the teams in the division have 3 wins, so clearly no margin for error moving forward for the Eagles, who are in the midst of a 5-game stretch where all 5 of those teams, starting with Cleveland, well above the 500 mark in 2020. All right, let's turn our attention to the Eagles defense. Alex Singleton is the big playmaker for the Eagles defense. Well, right now he sure is. Boy, he's come a long way. I'm not sure what this says, that the game's all mental, or that when you get an opportunity in life, you take full advantage of it, or maybe it's a little bit of both. Alex Singleton, Eagles linebacker, joins the Eagles Insider podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. How you doing, man?
Oh, good.
Yeah, you are. Last time I talked to you, you were like, man, I just want to get that big play in San Francisco. That's going to get me some respect. And now you're out there balling.
Yeah, trying to, you gotta do what you can.
I guess looking back, first of all, you sound like you're in a great mood. I mean, I'm really happy for you from an individual standpoint. Looking back, did that play against the Niners, I mean, is it fair to say that was kind of a catapult to confidence and to big plays on the field?
Yeah, I think as a player, you, at least I believe, you should always, believe in yourself. But I think when you finally, because for me, it wasn't like, I had played, let's say, 6 games and then finally made that play. It was really the first game I got to play. And so it was nice for it to, kind of happen, I guess. You put yourself, you believe in the right position to be able to make those plays. So when it came to me, I was able to make it. And yeah, the confidence, it has really catapulted me to, kind of just to know that I can continue to show the player I am to the coaches and, the upstairs.
So, I mean, is that a lesson in life and a lesson in the NFL that this game, success in this game is so dependent upon, in a lot of ways, how you feel about yourself, the level of confidence that you have?
Yeah, I think I'm a guy that believes that in anything. If you're confident and believe in yourself, it's going to happen for you. And if you're not, it's just not going to happen for you. I wouldn't say I believe in karma, but I believe in I'm more of like a positive attitude for anything gives you a better outlook for something. So instead of believing in karma, where if you do something bad might happen to you, I believe whether a good or bad thing happens, if you, take it and make it a positive for you, positive things are just going to come from it either way.
At the end of the day, what was it like for you to kind of move on after that play in San Fran?
It was, just like any play, good or bad, it was easy. I know, a lot of people, in my life, from my sister, my family, and, my friends and stuff, they kind of, I think, more hang on to it just because of, what it was. And I think, one day I will maybe, obviously hang on to it as, one of the, my biggest plays. But, just like any game, the good plays, the bad plays, you got to move on from them because, there's obviously been a lot of games since then. And if you just hung your hat on one play in one game, your career would be just as short as that, one play in one game.
Alex, what has it been like for you to get so much playing time, and how much do you think your game's improved these last few weeks?
I love it. To be in a position to where I can show, my teammates that I'll do anything for them, for us to win games. That's what's most important. And, to be able to get in that rhythm, playing a lot of snaps, on defense and special teams, and, to still be able to, show what I can do on special teams and then also be able to do the same on defense. Builds my confidence, in myself, but then also hopefully the guys around me to think the same way. And, what was the second part? Sorry.
No, I mean, just is it kind of what's the key to success been? I mean, what have you learned about yourself?
I think that I can do it. I think a lot of it is, you always know that you can, but until you get to go do it, you don't really know. You line up and you watch tape and you see these guys and you're like, man, that, whoever it is, you look at the guys and you're like, man, that's, a good O-line. Those, last week, the 2 best running backs in the NFL, it's like, you're either going to show up or you're not. And, thankfully, I have. And, that's just, it's something that, I guess, when you watch tape during the week, like I said, it's, you kind of get that choice in your head. It's like, you're either going to show up like they're going to show up or you're not.
Was it ever at all in your life a question of physically whether you could do it, or was it just, hey, I really want to get the chance to show that I can do it?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever second guessed myself. I remember, way back when, I had a college girlfriend at one point, and when my first year in the NFL, getting cut every week, I remember one time her dad asked me, what's your plan B if this doesn't work out? And I laughed and said, I don't have a plan B. Like, I'm putting all my eggs in this basket. And, I think he kind of laughed, like, almost back at me. And a few weeks ago, he actually texted me and was like, I think about that all the time because, after all these years, you're still doing it, and now you're finally getting to show it. And I think, I've always believed in myself, and I think it's why I'm at the point where I'm at.
Yeah, but the big question is, did the guy tell his daughter to ditch you? This guy's got no future?
No, he didn't, which is nice, But yeah, great family, not together anymore. Obviously, that was many, many moons ago. But just one of those stories that kind of puts it all into perspective and how long the journey has been sometimes.
Alex, what are the opportunities in this defense for a linebacker? Like, what do you have to do to excel as a linebacker in this defense to have success?
You gotta play. You got to be able to play off the guys around you. I mean, anyone can go on our roster and see, how great our D-line is, how great our DBs are. And, you got to put yourself in a position, one, to, we get the calls. So you got to be able to line all those guys up and take kind of a leadership role within that group of guys that are all, in my opinion, proven NFL, stars. From top down, every other guy on the defense is Pro Bowl player, a Pro Bowl caliber. They're the guys that you dream of being. And so in our defense, you got to be able to play with those guys. You got to be able to prove to those guys that you deserve to be out there with them. When it comes to the D line, you got to be able to come downhill and get double teams off those guys so they can get off blocks and make plays. Same thing in the pass. You got to be able to get into your position to help those DBs, whether it's, to be underneath deeper routes, in a hook, or if it's man-to-man, you got to be able in the right leverage so you can lean on your guy to, put him into the safety's lap maybe, or, take away the inside so, the one-on-ones are all there. But it's a tough role, with those guys, but, you do everything you can, obviously.
What are you good at? What do you need to get better at to be the player you really want to be in the NFL?
Oh, man, there's nothing that I think I'm good or great at. I feel like I need to every week need to get better at everything. From just fitting the runs correctly, being lined up right, tackling better, being in the right position on on drops, working on my man-to-man, working on, just basic fundamentals from, being lower, from the start of the play to the end of the play, just hat placement, hands, I can go on and on. I think there's, especially at this point in the year and where our team's at, you got to critique every little thing, because if you're not trying to get, better every single second, you're just getting worse.
Do you think you've shown the world that you can be a starting linebacker in the NFL?
I like to believe so, but, good thing there's another opportunity this week to, personally, I feel like improve even more and show whoever needs to see it that, I can play. Because obviously, it's our organization. I've done that, and that's why I am starting, however you get there. And, as long as they allow me to and, teams allow me to, I think I don't care too much whatever the outside world wants to think. It's more whatever our team and the organization believes in.
It's going to be Monday Night Football, and the guy on the other side of the line of scrimmage is about as elusive as they come, Russell Wilson. When you watch him and you've looked at him in the past, I mean, what are the challenges of playing a guy like that?
Yeah, luckily I spent a lot of 2015 on the practice squad in Seattle, so I've chased him around a few times, and that was in his younger days. Everybody sees it. He's an incredible player. He's an MVP caliber player, and we're going to have to contain him. We're going to have to force him, to throw the ball, and we got to be able to make plays. It's one of those games that's interesting, with the player he is, how he's so dynamic, and whatever the game plan is that Coach Schwartz comes up with and the other coaches, we're just going to have to pin our ears back and do everything they say and just go out there and compete at that same level. He's that same competition that he's going to bring, because those are the kind of guys you want to play, especially on Monday night. That's the spotlight you want to have on, and hopefully our guys and myself are ready to go.
Yeah, why is Russell Wilson so great? I mean, obviously not the biggest guy, not the biggest arm, but he's got a good one. I mean, what makes him so great?
I would say, from personal experience and being around him, I think it's his preparation, his competitiveness, and I think, like you said, I think people saying that about him. I think that drives guys to show that they are that guy. I think, when people say he's not the fastest, he's going to prove that he is. That his arm's not the strongest, he's going to prove that his arm is the strongest, or can get into the toughest throws. And all those little things, I think, and then on top of that, his preparation is, par none. So, he's one of those guys that wants to compete at the highest level, and he's going to, and that's what, Monday night brings. It brings out the best, I think, competitors and everybody.
Alex, last one for you. Since you've been playing so much, I mean, it's kind of the first time you played this many snaps in a long time. How's the body feel?
I feel good. It's been a few weeks of it. I'm getting I guess more comfortable with it every week. You learn when you need to catch your breath on the sideline and when you just kind of power through. And those are things that it's a job. It's not like high school or college where you're just sometimes doing it because you just love the game. When it gets tough, sometimes I just kind of click in my mind. One, you're playing, you're living your dream, and then two, it's your job. So you better suck it up, get some more air real quick, and go out there and give everything you have.
Have the defensive guys come up with any nicknames for you, like tackling machine, or I don't know, anything?
No.
I mean, I just love it. I love on TV. You're like you make a play and you're like you look like you're having so much fun out there.
Yeah, no nicknames, but yeah, like I said, I know every play I'm living my dream, because my story with my sister and everybody that supports me and everything, and I just think, just the love that, they give me alone to be able to do what I'm doing, how much, I've been through to get to where I'm at. I'm gonna, whether it's this next game is the last time I get to play, or 10 years from now, I'm gonna enjoy every play, every second. I'm gonna do everything I can to win, and be the best player I can, because I know I'm truly living the dream that I've always wanted to, and I'm gonna take full advantage of that to the last second that I can. Has
the family been able to see you in person this year?
Yes, they have. They came Thursday night. When we were allowed to have fans, I had one from my family at all those games, but obviously now that fans are not allowed back in Philadelphia, they won't be, but they will be at some games this year. They'll be in Dallas, they'll be in Phoenix, so
awesome.
They'll be able to come out, which is awesome.
It must be nice to share it with your family.
It is, yeah, it is most important. And at the end of the day, I know Ashley's already excited because I got a fumble recovery last week, so she has another ball coming her way. So she's
awesome.
She's going to be very excited about that.
Awesome. Alex, thanks so much, man.
Of course, thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.
You too.
That will do it for this Eagles Insider podcast, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Want to thank Ray Doyle, Peter Kelly, and Trevor Hayes for their work on the podcast. And, of course, thank all of you for your time spent with me. Again, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We're setting our sights on Monday Night Football. Eagles in the prime time spotlight. Are they ready for this moment at Lincoln Financial Field, where, once again, no fans there, so the Eagles have to find that energy by themselves? It's been difficult for this team to do in 2020. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Have yourselves a great Eagles day, and fly, Eagles, fly.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Raise a glass to that comforting feeling of an Eagles touchdown with the all-new Broad & Pattison wine collection, created in partnership with Wink, featuring a Cabernet, a Rosé, and a Chardonnay. Broad & Pattison wines are the perfect pairing for any occasion. Now you can bring the sweet taste of victory with you to a dinner with friends or to the tailgate with your game day crew. Purchase online today at philadelphiaeagles.com/wine to stock up and have Broad & Pattison delivered right to your door. A portion of proceeds from every bottle benefit Eagles Autism Foundation.